All right,
Hello,
Beth
Beth.
just joined.
Hey, Beth.
So, all right, we're at 6:30. I'm going to get us rolling because I have to do the upfront review, and it looks like we have a good enough group that we can go ahead and get started. And I'll keep an eye on the list and see if Cheryl joins. I'll promote as well. So this is our Human Rights Committee meeting. It is May 2nd. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain state of emergency accommodations, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will broadcast and be recorded on ECAT. While conducting meetings remotely, we'll endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to standard procedures as possible. However, use of the platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. While the committee members will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendees and will be muted with no video feed from them. During the public portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by raising their hands or by making a request with the Q&A function. If joining by phone, *9 to raise your hand. And when starting your testimony, please state your name and address for the record. As in any public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Business will be handled as indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Committee members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion in seconds so that it'll be clear to the audience and minute takers who are they motion. And all votes will be made by roll call. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and termination of the ECAT recording, and all participants will be disconnected from the webinar at that time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Can we go ahead and take attendance?
Audrey here.
Bornstein here.
Ann is here.
Devonshire here.
Grant's here.
Amy Gershman here.
Emma Gershman here.
Emma, when have you ever been the end of the alphabet?
Oh, here comes Jen.
Oh, good. As Jen is connecting, Karen, it occurs to me, do we have a minute taker?
We don't have a minute taker. I was going to see who was going to offer to take them.
So I can do for the first half an hour, and then I got to run out and pick up Jonah.
I have to do the same with Bree.
I'll do the second half. Andrew can do pickup, and I typed up some notes for Pride updates. So especially if that's later, it's already typed out. So
thank you. All right, so we have quorum, we have a minute taker, and we can go ahead and get started. Can we go ahead and start off by reviewing and approving the minutes that Kelly has distributed?
The only
Any
change,
updates?
I was looking at it and it says NRT is charging for the police detail. And I thought they were charging us rent, and the police detail was something completely separate. Is that inaccurate?
you're correct. I mean, you can change that. We should change that.
Okay. So I move to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Can
Marjorie,
we go
yes.
ahead?
Bornstein, yes.
Oh, and Tabby. Sorry, Jen, you got to go first.
Hold on. And Tabby, yes.
Marjorie, yes.
Bornstein, yes.
And yes.
Devonshire, yes.
Grant's yes.
Yes.
Emma Gershman, yes.
All right, we will make that amendment and get those meeting minutes submitted. Okay, so yes, as Liz mentioned, Kelly is no longer going to be able to support us. She has left her position. And so I'm not necessarily sure. She was kind of looking to see if there was still an opportunity for her to be able to help support us, but we'll have to circle back with her on that.
I thought she said she could.
Yeah.
I thought we got an email that said that she could, but let me check.
She was wondering if she might be able to.
I thought she
I-
said good news, but let me double check.
Okay, maybe just
I don't know the
do-
details.
Because then she
Sorry,
said I
Fran.
won't be there next week because she was going away.
That's right, yep. And then she said she was hoping she could do it, but there was no decision on that as far as I could read.
Maybe I was just wishful thinking.
well, I guess we'll wait to hear back from her, or who would I reach out to, Craig, to see if we could have someone kind of going forward to help support us?
I would reach out to Mary Southworth to start with and see what,
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And just to know, which is what I told Kelly, I think she's been much more than a minute taker for us. She's been a member of our committee and, in terms of supporting and offering lots of great support for us and participating in all of our events. She comes to many of them, so she'll greatly be missed, and we hope we get her back. All right, moving on to events and projects. So the first one on the list is the NRT Farm Fest. And that's actually first on the list because it's coming up this weekend. Amy, do you want to give a brief overview of what that is and what we're hoping to accomplish today?
Yeah, I think we just need a couple volunteers if anyone's around. We agreed to have a table since the NRT is so good to us and it's a great little event. It's a smaller scale than the Harvest Fest. We had a booth there last year. I think we just want to have a table, hand out HRC information and swag and promote Pride. And I think Karen, you said you got an activity to do, which is great. It should be pretty low key. I think we have, Kathy's not here, but I think we have the table booth thing down to a pretty good science. So if anyone's available.
What time is it?
10 to 2 on Saturday.
And so we just need to vote to see if the HRC can participate in the event, because I don't think that's something that we've brought forward to the group just yet. But through conversation with RT around Pride, this event did come up, and we did support it last year. As Amy mentioned, it does help us with promoting the Pride event.
I
Any
make a
questions about-
motion to approve our participation in the event.
Second, Gershman.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and vote to approve our participation in the NRT Farm Fest. Jen, you want to get us started?
And Tebby, yes.
Barger, yes.
Ornstein, yes.
Jen, yes.
Devonshire, yes.
Durant, yes.
Gershman, yes.
Emma Gershman, yes.
All right. So the HRC will be participating in the upcoming Farm Fest on Saturday, May 6th from 10 to 2. And if you have time and can join us for that, that would be great.
Is there a sign up? Or
No.
Amy, are you, who's housing the schedule of
Yeah.
who's there when?
I'll just be there. I plan on being there the whole time, and I think I have most of the stuff. I might have to get some stuff from you, Liz. I'm not sure if you have t-shirts.
Oh, do I have t-shirts?
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
I'll follow up with you about t-shirts. I have postcards and possibly being there to help out on Saturday. I just have to check my schedule, which I can't do and type at the same time. All right, but we should all just follow up with you for our availability to pop by for an hour or so on Saturday.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, with the rainouts, I just have to see if Jack has a game.
Okay, well, I'll be there, and I can bring coffee and some sort of dessert or breakfast item for us to eat while we're making bracelets. Okay. Thank you. All right, Amy, update on Pride event.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be quicker this time because we'll have another meeting tomorrow for anyone who wants more details. But The big ticket items are, we've gotten a few verbal agreements to donate from Bella Real Estate, from Langwater, we filled out the Lions Club application from Trinity Church. However, we've only received 2 checks, one from Roach Brothers and one from Village Speech. Let's see, Liz attended the select board meeting. Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Craig, because the select board approved a $2,500 grant for Pride from the Stonehill funds, which is fantastic, and it's even above and beyond the requests that we made and the line items we provided. So I don't know, I'm really, really grateful and excited about all the good stuff we can do. Vendor updates. We have a few new food vendors. We got Foodega to say yes again, which is great. I don't know why they didn't respond the first time, but I emailed VJ, I think his name is, and he said yes right away, which is great. We got one person, it's Mom on the Go. It's a grilled cheese food truck, which I think is pretty awesome and family friendly. And then one more called, I can't remember, I have it written down in another document, but it's a hamburger and hot dog person, and it's not a truck, it's like a stand, but I'm also excited because I think it's like cheap and easy and it will be awesome and well received. Updates on NRT stuff. I met with Jen Cummings and we do not have to pay for the porta potties, which is great. She and the NRT got a grant to have the extra porta potties there from the Farm Fest next week through the end of the summer, because they need them for camp and they need them for, or no, actually through the Harvest Fair. So that's great. So it's no additional cost and they'll just be there, so I can cancel that. Couple more crafter vendors, Devon's Designs from last year, jewelry table. I do have a couple things that I need help with, and first and foremost is promotion. If anyone has time to, I have a flyer and there's a Facebook page. If anyone's willing to do Facebook blasting, Michelle, that would be awesome. And then if anyone, Emma, maybe you can make a list of places to put up flyers and we can make that a priority. Also emailing our allies, not just our ally list, but like, I don't know, anyone who we think would help, like RMK maybe, who would be willing to share the event details with their email lists. So if anyone has time to do that, that would be great. Leisha said we can put signs up at the schools, as long as there's a disclaimer on it. So I'm working on updating the flyer with that disclaimer. Emma, that's another to do for you, probably. I finally got feedback on the agreement, the contract, Karen, just this morning. Mary emailed me. She does want to change a little bit of the language in the contract with the NRT, but I already sent it. It was minimal, and I already sent it to Jen and asked Jen to approve it. Once Jen approves it, she's going to have Connor sign it, actually, not anyone on the HRC. And then my next steps are to finish the Sign Up Genius. I started to work through getting that together, and I really need to do website updates because I want to get, Roach Brothers and Village Speech, those logos up there. If anyone has time, I don't know if someone wants to take on getting the volunteers. I think you did it last year, Beth. I'm not sure who exactly was on your list of.
I think we sent it out to allies. I targeted friends. So if that's up, just send me the link. And I think we had talked about too, I think a couple meetings ago, targeting folks for what they want. Whatever we decide, I'll just send it out to people and we can figure it out.
What do you mean
Do
for
we
what?
have for that? We had a sign up, didn't we?
Yeah,
Okay. Because I think the Y, from my conversation with Darcy, she had mentioned that they would be able to
Okay.
help support volunteers as well.
great.
Yeah, I think because we made a comment about trash. So this year we would like assign people duties.
Yeah. Speaking of trash, I did hear from somebody, an Eagle Scout person, who said that they're trying to get somebody to do that as their project, but I haven't heard back for sure yet. So
Yeah. Last year we had folks sign up. We used the schools because people needed hours for
Yeah.
volunteering.
those are all the big
So-
updates.
Amy, if you want to send me the flyer,
Yep.
I'll put it in the weekly at the temple.
Okay, awesome.
You send it to me too, Amy, and I can start
Yep.
posting.
Also, I think just going back to the select board, I think that you should, it was Dottie Fulgenetti who really jumped the amount up. So she should be the one that gets the thanks. So
will
I'll pass
thank
it
her.
on from the HRC to her next time I see her.
Yeah, I'll thank her myself too. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a great support.
Excellent. Yeah, Dottie's always been a great ally to the HRC. And that is a very generous approval for us, and we can do a lot with that money. So that definitely gives us a little bit of breathing room for some of these vendors and securing even, our police detail and obviously the NRT costs. I think that's going to be great. And then marketing, Amy, how about like the ordering of the signs? Because I know we talked about timing, like you can't put them up until a certain time frame right before, right? I think.
Yeah, it's a month before. Oh, I should say, so when I went to town hall to check the mailbox, and I also picked up a check. So I do have a deposit check for the NRT. So that's one thing. I did check with the Board of Health and let them know that they were going to have food vendors incoming, and they were really nice. And then I talked to the building inspector who's in charge of signs, and he said go ahead and put them up. We don't need a permit or anything. It's the same thing that he said last year. Like, all of this is, I just wanted to like reach out to people to let them know and try to be courteous and proactive about it. But we're good to go once, like a month before.
And then did Mary or the town respond around is it the sponsor letter or the vendor letter? One of those two that they had to approve?
It was the vendor letter. She copied, I followed up several times on the COVID stuff. The only thing outstanding was having the Board of Health, and I forgot to mention this when I was in person because I was short on time, but it was the language about the Board of Health and the COVID language that she wanted to have to run it by. But I feel like it's the standard language that the NRT uses, and it's basically just saying we'll follow any guidelines that are recommended by, I can't remember if it says the town or the state, but it seems really, really standard and low risk to just assume that there's no changes needed, because I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I can send you, maybe we can talk about it tomorrow, Karen, if you're around, if you want to send a follow-up just for like to be quadruply sure that what we have is okay, like you or I could do that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
I
late
just wanted
so late in the game, like I've been sending it out, as is. I feel
Yeah.
bad.
But I
I
think
think we
even
just-
on May 11th, everything is changing in terms of with COVID, any mandates, even in, I believe, in some medical settings,
Mhm.
masks are being completely optional. So I definitely think the language would only become less
Yeah.
going forward.
Yep.
Okay. I just remember that was one of the outstanding things that we were still kind of waiting on. Okay. And then I know we had a couple emails, Jen. Jen, I think you mentioned that you had a contact providing snacks or something like that.
Yes, I spoke with him the other day, and he said that he's going to send me numerous boxes of all sorts of different snacks. And he said everything has all of the ingredients right on the packaging, and it's so that's good. And he said he's going to just send me a ton of boxes, and I hope I just don't eat everything before the event. But I also contacted Elliott Physical Therapy and asked if they would be interested in sponsoring. So I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Okay, excellent. And Amy has a really good spreadsheet going for any of the sponsors, vendors that we've been reaching out to, just so that we don't overlap folks, right? And if you want to just make sure, and maybe Amy pop it into the chat,
Yep.
so that folks can with that easily. So that's where I've been putting all of my updates, who I contact.
I didn't, yeah, I was wondering because there isn't any place like online where it's housed, I guess, because I just wasn't sure where to find it.
Yeah, I had sent it in a previous email. I have a new one that has a little bit more after some correspondence with the Chamber of Commerce. I made a list of all the places on their website, so I'll send them both, and I will
Awesome.
link them to one another also, so everyone has 100% visibility. And honestly, I am just struggling with time too. I said I'd do that, and I'm a week late with it, so sorry for that.
You're not doing a lot, are you?
Yeah, flash over there. Oh, goodness. Okay, excellent. Any other updates around Pride from the rest of the committee? Okay.
Just
Well,
one
Amy,
more plug. One more plug for we can get together tomorrow too if anyone has capacity to talk in more detail and maybe split up the sponsorship stuff and or the promotional stuff or whatever we need to do.
Okay, and Amy, do you want to just maybe send out that Zoom to the group via email one more time, just so that it's on the top?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Lots of activities around Pride, as the team can imagine, and Amy's been doing a lot for us, so thank you to Amy. Okay, the next topic is Juneteenth with RMK. And so, goodness, Craig, was it like 3 weeks ago at this point? I can't even remember.
Yeah, just about that. Yeah.
So Craig and I met with Connor Reed. We met with Corey Ahonen and Maria Montero from RMK, discussed a collaborative event for Juneteenth, which would include a rededication of the Civil War Monument, and followed by a walk to the center school for a picnic, which was the maybe original RMK idea, Liz, that you and Denise had talked about for recognition of Juneteenth. We are aiming to have that event on Juneteenth, that Monday, I believe. And we would like to, we were talking it through with Connor, and he was looking into being able to kind of close off the roads for that event, so that this way people could actually walk right over without having to fight with traffic. We were also aiming to have the event kind of earlier in the day, so maybe around 10, 11 o'clock. So this way we would still make it over to center school and be there in time for a picnic lunch that wouldn't be in like scorching hot heat, considering it would be in mid-June. We had anticipated that people could bring their own lunches, and we possibly could have a couple of food trucks at center school for ice cream or something of that sort. But ultimately, the recognition of that Civil War monument is typically done around Memorial Day. And I think it was Connor who came up with the idea to maybe tie that into a Juneteenth recognition with the HRC. And then we wanted to extend that with and include RMK as well. RMK just got back to me today and said they are very interested we'll be looking forward to moving this forward. One thing we did talk about was the speakers, and really making sure that, we can talk through the history of the monument, but also, the importance of what, the civil rights activities mean to social justice and efforts and progress forward. So some things that we will be looking forward to kind of working through in detail. We had talked about connecting with Corey again and having a follow-up discussion to see how we wanted to proceed with planning. But those are the initial thoughts from the group. Craig, what did I miss?
Okay, not very much, but I just wanted to give you a follow-up on that yes, we're going to be able to use the center school. They'll open it up for the bathrooms for people. And we're going to close off the streets around the monument as well. Corey was given the responsibility to pretty up the area around the monument. And we were starting to look for a speaker who could address the Civil War and the significance of that with African Americans. And so I'm not sure where we are with that. I think folks were going to reach out to Stonehill to see if there was a professor at Stonehill who could talk about that. We're going to look at BSU, and there are a few other options as well. I'm not sure whether Corey was responsible for that or Connor. I'm not 100% sure. We did mention that we have a real close connection with a certain person who knows a lot of people at Stonehill, but we didn't mention her name at that point. Because she wasn't at the meeting because she got tied up doing something else.
That stupid job of mine had me tied up. I love emergency meetings. They're my favorite.
So I'm excited about it. I'm excited that the RMK is excited about it. The veterans are excited about it. I think it's going to be a great event. If people remember what it's like on Memorial Day when we have the parade, et cetera, there's quite a turnout. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And the fact that we can close off the roads too, that's very helpful. So that's what I remember, Karen.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, and so Beth, maybe if you do have any contacts or recommendations there, let me know or let us know, and we can circle back with Corey and Connor and Maria.
What exactly would the speaker? What are they looking for?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it from a few different angles. One is we think we need a speaker to talk about the significance of the monument for the town, because I think they said there were 300 folks from Easton who fought in the Civil War, and 47 of them actually died in the war, which are the names that are represented on the monument. And then I think it was, kind of that correlation of what the war meant for social justice and kind of the initiation of some of those activities at that time, and what that climate was like at the time, and what the fight was really kind of representing. And then kind of that reach into trying to make that kind of correlation, or at least a link to what Juneteenth represents for us, and why we recognize that date, and what we're trying to highlight for the community around that.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's a faculty member or somebody from a DEIA office. So if they want a faculty member, I'm sure, but I'll reach out to a couple of folks at Bridgewater and at Stonehill and see if they have any ideas. So that's helpful, because it could just be, they have a new DEIA person at Bridgewater, but who might be in that realm. But let me see what I can find.
Okay. Yeah, and I think what we had talked about was getting back together as well. So maybe I'll try and include you in that next meeting. And because RMK might have recommendations on speakers also.
This may seem like a strange question, but the 47 names that are on the monument, do we know if there are still any family members that live in Easton that who we might be able to reach out to?
Yeah, I think that came up during our meeting, right, Craig? I think
Yeah.
maybe Connor said that they were possibly.
Oh, this
Corey
was
had said he-
before. This was before I was on the committee, I guess.
No, I'm sorry. We just had a meeting, like a side meeting.
Oh, okay.
Only. No.
All right.
So no, I think that's a good idea. And we had talked about, whether or not they would be able to link that back. So yes, I think that's something that Corey was looking into. So I think at this point, we do need to vote for the HRC participation in this Juneteenth event with collaboration with the veterans services in our town and veterans groups within our town, as well as with RMK.
So just a quick, because I'm Antebi, do I start it out?
I need a motion to approve.
I'm learning. I will learn eventually.
I motion to approve the event.
Around second.
Okay, and now we can move to vote.
And Tebby, yes?
And- Yeah, there
Marjorie,
we go.
yes.
Bornstein, yes.
And yes.
Devonshire, yes.
Durant, yes.
Gershman, yes.
Emma Gershman, yes.
Lar, yes.
All right. So we will be moving that forward. Thank you, everyone. Hi, Cheryl.
I am so sorry. I will explain when at the end of the meeting what took me so long to log in. I have some news for you
No.
guys.
Joining. Okay, so moving on to the next agenda item was a holiday calendar, and I left this on, Liz, just because I know we talked about it at the last meeting in terms of not just distribution of the calendar, but also trying to kind of accompany it with a mission, vision, what we were trying to accomplish with that. So I wasn't sure if we needed to discuss that through a little bit and assign someone to kind of take on that piece of it.
Well, I would defer first to, I think Amy and Michelle were working on the iteration for this year, because that's the first part, is getting the updated version to the schools.
It has not happened yet. Sorry. I also have one idea because it is on like my back burner. The school uses, and I was inspired by my work calendar, which is horrific and has like all these layers and facets of like what meetings I have. But anyway, Google Calendar has a feature where you can create your own calendar and you can enable it. You can turn it on and off. And the school's website also uses a version of that. And I was wondering if we could get rid of this paper version and create like a digital version of it where all the school would have to do is like click on and it would be visible on their website. I wondered if they would be open to that longer term, like maybe not this time, but and what also inspired me is having conversations with Emma and some of her friends who like we talked about the calendar in the last meeting and Emma was like, I didn't even know there was a meeting. And I was like, well, the target audience is actually the teachers, but maybe having it in this digital format that's integrated with all of the other school stuff, which I think has might have some holidays on it already. Like maybe it would give people more regular visibility into it instead of something that you go reference every once in a while or at the beginning of a term. And also maybe it puts the onus on understanding the holidays and how they impact people like more broadly on everybody, like parents, coaches, students, whoever's looking at the calendar. I just wanted to throw that out there, even though I admit I'm negligent in updating the paper version that we have.
I
Oh,
can
what-
about that.
Well, aren't they redoing the website? So
Oh,
it might be one of, so the Easton Public Schools are redoing the website, so it might be good to send it now as they're building, that we would like this space, whether it's in the academic calendar space and it's a subsequent calendar that goes with it. I know at my school, it sits under the DEIA office, that there is a separate calendar that you can find. So it seems to make good sense to me that it would actually just be externally facing.
who would be a person to talk to about the website?
I would email Alicia because I think she's the one that's who Karen and I talked about doing it. Or I would email her, Chrissy.
Yeah, and I can take that on, Amy. I can follow up with them about their interest in a digital version of the holiday calendar to replace the paper distribution, if that makes sense.
It feels like it would get so much more traction if it was integrated with the regular calendar versus this PDF that you have to go reference on a link somewhere.
I also
Um,
like this idea. I just want to make sure that we preserve some of the education as part of it. I agree with your point about the onus being on everyone else to say like, oh, there's a holiday, who observe it? What does it mean? But as we found in doing our research, like some of these holidays are difficult to find information on. And so I wonder if we can still include the basics, like someone might miss school, someone might have a dietary concern, someone might need extra time for homework.
Well, they could, if it was digital, they could go to that holiday, click on it, and it would take them to a quick, not a website, but perhaps an abbreviated information page about it that is always workable. Sorry, but the dog's in the background. That's always workable. So it's like, it's plastic. We can go in and edit it as needed, right?
Oh, that would be really nice because
Yeah.
then we're not changing the dates, right? The content information about
The
the
content
holiday
is
stays
there.
the same.
Because a lot of the dates, like, I mean, I have a lot of students that like, it's you know, they're fasting in different times of the year, not just Jews, but there are a lot of other religions that are fasting or have to pray at a certain time of day in the middle of their school day. And I think that's really important to understand especially as Easton becomes more integrated. So yeah, moving
So
forward.
Lee,
for,
do you know if that's possible?
For Foxborough, is there a resource that's available online right now that we could model off of in any way?
Yeah, we use at my charter, there's an education piece every month regarding whatever holiday is happening, but that's because we're a small charter. But I agree with looking at the Foxborough one because I know that our charters in Foxborough, so we get a lot of information there too. That looks really good. Download the holiday and then there's Lag BaOmer. But there's no information. You should be able to click on it and get like some bullet points and know what it is, why it's a holiday.
Amy, would it be possible to, I mean, this may be Karen as a question for Alicia and Chrissy as they're building stuff, but you know, the static doc, we've basically already done the work on, you know, with our formatting for what all of these holidays are. So maybe inquire if it's possible to keep that somewhere as a resource.
Yeah, I agree with that. And even if it was a link in a description with a digital version that was integrated, that still would give us that educational, like double click on that specific holiday and what it entailed. I feel like there are 3 action items and this, my like work self is coming out right now. Like, okay, what are the takeaways here? Why don't I play around with Google Calendar and just to have a visual to show everybody what I need for the next meeting. Michelle, you and I can work together to update the new version. And then Karen, will you just, I feel like the ask of Leisha is who's doing the website and is there an opportunity to do the calendar differently or better with whatever calendar functionality they're implementing in the new website?
They're bringing
that-
in a vendor, so I would assume, it's not like Leisha's doing it, I don't know. I think they're contracting out, so the person should be able, right, if you're a
Yeah,
vendor.
but I mean, Leisha has to say, oh yeah, I think that's a good idea too, you
Right,
know?
no, I think, yes, of course, go to Leisha, but as far as the work, I would assume that the vendor would be able to make this work. I don't think it's like splitting the atom. I think it'd be a hard ask for us, like I wouldn't be able to do it, but I think somebody who makes this their living should be able to know how.
So would that be something that the advisory committee, that you could bring to Leisha that way?
Yeah, I'm happy to do
Um,
that next week when we meet. So if you want to send it to me, Amy, I can just make sure I can send it and just ask that it's on the agenda.
Well, there's nothing to send except an idea right now, but I can maybe,
But even the old calendar, just so it's fresh in their inbox and I
Okay.
can just forward.
I'm just wondering, because Amy's working on Pride right now, if maybe we need somebody else to kind of take this on, but is it because, Amy, this version is, I don't know, did you customize this version or something like that? Did you format it in a Gershman way that it's going to be difficult for us to update?
Gershman way.
I haven't done anything on it, anything on anything. I just had an idea and I said I would help with the calendar and I haven't yet.
Okay, I think maybe so I think we take your idea to digitize it. I think then, is it Michelle, were you offering to help to update the content of the calendar?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe Michelle can take that piece on, Beth take the part to bring to the superintendent subcommittee meeting or that committee meeting, and we go from there. Sound like a plan? Okay, I'm just trying to, I think this does need to probably move sooner than later, just based on timing of when I think we try to aim for distribution, and also with this website going live, I'm gonna guess before the end of the summer, and also the fact that Amy's plate's pretty full with Pride. So, okay, perfect. That link that you just shared, Beth, is so cool because you can download it onto your Outlook folder, and then it just sits side by side with your, like, I don't know, with my work folder, it just pulls up. That's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea how they did it. I'm lucky I can turn on the computer, so I have no
It's
idea.
an IDF file that I know that you can, okay. Anyway, very, very cool. Okay, awesome. So that is the holiday calendar. Anything else? Okay. All right, that's it for the holiday calendar. Partner collaboration updates. There is a Massachusetts HRC coalition. There's a meeting in person, actually, on the 19th at the State House. It's a coalition meeting that they've asked all the HRCs if they'd like to be present or welcome. Beth and I have registered, and we're hoping to attend either in person or virtually. But if other folks have interest, it is an all day. I think it's like from 9 to 10 to 3 or 9 to 3 or something like that. But if you do have interest, just reach out to me directly and I can send you that registration. For RMK updates, I think other than the Juneteenth collaboration, I don't think there were anything else for RMK, but do folks have stuff to bring forward?
The DEI meeting tomorrow night. That's the only thing I just know because Raina's helping to babysit, and I'm going to go to that.
Can you share what that is, Cheryl, with the group?
Yes. Hold. Everybody pause. I will get the information right now that Kelly shared with me with a group. Hold on. Okay, the agenda. This is presented by Raising Multicultural Kids in the Easton Public Schools tomorrow, 6:30 to 7. Welcome and presentation from EPS at 7 to 7:30. Feedback from the community, general feedback on the initiatives and purpose document. And then 7:30 to 8, ideas to advance the work that we're doing, such as diversity staff, diversity curriculum, support students experiencing identity-based harm, and then other. And then lastly, resource ideas. Oh, I'm sorry. Also human, there's human. Volunteers to help in advance to work here in Easton, and financial RMK, donations, connections to grants, foundations, company sponsors. Do you want to put that in the chat?
Where is it located, Cheryl?
It is tomorrow night at Blanche Ames at 6:30. I will be there around 6:15 because I'm gonna say hi to Denise, and Raina's handling the daycare. You see, where's the chat?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Here you go.
Thanks, Carol. And then the superintendent committee. It sounds like Beth and Michelle, that meeting's next week.
Next week. Yeah, it got postponed.
Okay. Okay. So I think the only topic that we have to bring forward would be the holiday calendar, unless there's anything else from the group that we think should be discussed at that superintendent meeting. Okay. All right. Moving forward to our next agenda item, our treasurer update, Liz.
Yep. So the donations that Amy was talking about from Roach Brothers and speech pathology, that was a total of $200. So that brings our total bank account to $1,192.04. And again, just to reiterate the generosity of the select board under Dottie Fulginetti's leadership, they were very conscious. They very much appreciated a document Amy drafted for the meeting, which explained what our request was for and what our expenses were and how that compared to the amount of funds we already had or anticipated. And the consideration was to not zero us out for the event and to give us some cushion, which is really greatly appreciated. It's about $800 more than we asked for. So that will help us, that will give us more cushion for the event and position us for other things we want to do during the year.
Excellent. That's a great update. Thanks, Liz.
Yep.
Okay, next agenda item is our website update. So Amy, I heard you mentioning that you wanted to get some of the sponsorship logos and things out there. Let me know if I can help in any way now that I'm fully trained on the website, although the mention of a logo makes me a little nervous, but let me know if I can help.
Thanks. Yeah. And I'm only talking about the Pride page. The rest is all you.
Okay. All right. Any other website updates we need to make beyond Pride from the group? You know, Beth and I had met with Dr. Cabral and Chrissy Pruitt to talk through actually learning about the EPS efforts around their website changes. And we would like, you know, to be able to kind of link to each other where it's appropriate. So I think as their site starts to get that revamped, you know, we had talked about, Amy and I had talked about it when I was doing the training, that we'd like to put a little bit more out there for our website as well, you know, more resources and things. So I think that might be a fun project for us to work on this fall potentially. But we, you know, kind of more to come on this, I think, as the not a high priority item, but definitely an area that we'd like to focus on as a project for us. Okay, so that's website. Any other action items that we didn't get to cover so far?
I hope
Okay,
not.
we have
That's a lot of action for all of us. I think we're at capacity.
just a few. There are some membership updates coming up. I think that some folks' terms are ending. If there are, I sent you a note, so kind of take a look at that. If you do have interest in continuing on, I think you have to respond by a certain date. So please kind of take a look at that and review. Next would be public participation, and I don't see anybody has joined. So I think the last item would be our next meeting. And if I look at our calendar, that would take us to June 6th. I won't be here. Beth, will you be around?
I will. I'm also wondering, as Pride is the next week, would we want to maybe bump that, although at the end of May is Memorial Day weekend? We'll make it happen.
I
Oh,
just want to put it out there. Many, you may know, I have MS, and on the 5th, I'm having my big 6-month infusion. So I just don't know how I'm going to be feeling on the 6th. So, you know, I mean, I could probably just log on and, you know, I might not look like I'm completely there, but I can try.
Thanks for sharing, Jen. Yeah, I think if we stick to that date, then we would be able to, I mean, we still have our Wednesday sub meetings on Pride. So I think what happens when we shift off course is then we end up having meetings, you know, like 3 weeks later. So I don't know if we want to do that, but.
No, I'm fine with that. And if we keep on the other, it might just be helpful too, because we can, if there's last minute items, we can reach out.
Okay. Okay, so we'll aim for the next meeting to be Tuesday, June 6th at 6:30. And Jen will just kind of note that you may or may not be available to join.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. I think that we have completed everything on the agenda, and it's only 7:22, team. This is like record time for us.
Can I just say something, Karen, if that's okay? I just want to thank folks for their support in my reelection to the select board on the 22nd of April. I'm very excited about the next 3 years. We have a lot of stuff going on, and I appreciate the support. As I said last night when Liz was there, that this is quite a group, and we've accomplished, and you guys have accomplished an enormous amount. And I'm thrilled to be on the select board, and I'm thrilled to be a member of this committee, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 years with great enthusiasm, and that's what I wanted to say to people. Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Thank you, Craig.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I would just add, I think we take it for granted that, of course, Craig will be reelected, and of course he will, you know, be our select board representative to the committee. Same with Michelle and her representation for school committee. So part of what makes this committee really strong is the partnerships we're building in town. And Craig and Michelle, you guys are a big part of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to say, I know I just got onto this committee, but I think you guys are awesome. I've been so impressed, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Of course.
And on that note, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And Debbie?
And Debbie,
We're gonna vote to adjourn.
yes, we may adjourn.
Barger, yes.
Bornstein, yes.
And
Devonshire, yes.
Rance, yes.
Gershman, yes.
Emma Gershman, yes.
Scar, yes.
thank you, everyone. Great meeting. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Be safe, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.